something indulgent, inessential, incredibly over-the-top ever be considered good for the environment? At Paris's Pershing Hall, this vertical garden gives a green feel to an extravagant hotel. But are luxury and sustainability compatible? Can the two terms coexist? That's the question at the heart of this week's show. Coming up, welcome to the generation of electric sports cars. How green are these luxury vehicles? Do they have power to trend the industry? Next, at $3,000 a kilogram, sustainably farmed caviar could become Canada's most valuable agricultural export. And finally, a potent symbol of yachts join the list of high-end products cashing in on the eco-ag. Fouquet's Barriere is one of the grand palaces in Paris. Along with hybrid limousines and strict cycling policies, the hotel even has a recharge plug for an electric car. Not just any car, but a Tesla, one of the most luxurious electric sports cars on the market. Today, we're going to give it a go. Zero to 100 kilometres in 3.7 seconds.
We can hear the faint sound of the engine. That's what we can hear in this car.
The all-electric sports car can travel 340 kilometres on a single charge, more than double most cars on the market. Louis Prunel was convinced enough to buy one.
It's a vehicle which is intelligent and high performance, and one which seriously limits our carbon footprint. This pleasure when buying this car is to have the feeling of being a few years ahead of all the others, but in reality, it already exists today.
Electric motors are both more energy efficient and less polluting compared to internal combustion engines, which typically require fuel.
We can see here how much fuel we've saved.
A new Tesla starts at €97,000, but the team at the dealership would prefer to discuss the money saved. To fully charge the lithium-ion battery requires 12 hours of electricity, a cost of around €2 per 100 kilometres.
All you need for recharge the battery of your Tesla Roadster is a normal plug, a traditional plug, the one you use for your mobile or for your coffee machine, like this one. That's it.
Since 2008, less than 2,000 Teslas have been sold around the world. Its only model to date, this luxury roadster will be phased out next year to make way for a cheaper sedan.
We're moving from a luxury car to a mass market because every single automotive company needs to produce thousands of volumes.
That's one of the reasons why environmentalists like Stefan Kirchhoff believe electric sports cars will play little role in curbing global emissions. The luxury market is far too small.
Climate change is forcing us to alter our mode of transport, especially in relation to vehicles. But all vehicles, not only those for the elite who use it as a way to improve their green image, while over-consuming for the rest of the year.
Lamborghini has not yet announced plans for an electric version of its supercar, but since the company was named the most polluting vehicle in 2010, the Italian luxury car maker has decided to reduce emissions by 20% in its next model.
It's huge. A reduction of 20% between the Murcielago and the Aventador equals the total output of a normal vehicle. Like a Volkswagen Polo, which releases 87 grams of CO2 per kilometre.
For the moment, Lamborghini customers are not being lured by the car's environmental benefits, but that's not to say they won't be in the future. A children's electric car, 1.5 hours worth of driving with an almost zero carbon footprint. This is one of the caviar in Paris, Chez Petrosian, a store which specialises in the delicacy. Bonjour, Madame Petrosian.
Bonjour.
Now, as far as I understand, all of the caviar here has been raised on a farm. Why is that?
We only have farmed caviar because wild caviar is protected. It's been overfished, much of it illegally, and that's why fishing in the Caspian Sea was banned. We can't sell wild caviar.
Many countries are trying to capitalise on this sustainable way to bring luxury to the table, that is, raising caviar on farms, with Canada among the countries leading the way.
Precious pearls. Once the dish of shahs and czars, black caviar is back to stay. Canada's first sustainable sturgeon caviar has just come on the market to over-demand. Valued at over 3,000 Canadian dollars per kilogram, this caviar could be Canada's most valuable agricultural export.
We had the technology, we could see the stocks declining in the wild, and the availability of sturgeon eggs from the university. All these things came together, and we thought, this is an opportunity.
A decade ago, wild caviar was on its way to extinction. Overfishing and pollution in the Caspian Sea, % of sturgeon caviar is harvested, led the UN agency CITES to ban its international sale in 2006. Modern farming found a solution.
There's no potential for localized outbreaks of disease or parasite to be transferred into wild populations and wild stocks because it's a completely closed and land-based system.
In the wild, too, it can take a female sturgeon up to 35 years to begin producing caviar-quality eggs. Creating the ideal conditions on his farm, Justin has brought that weight down to 11. At maturity, each fish can produce 4 to 7 kilograms of caviar, netting as much as $20,000 per fish. For Canada's gourmets, it hasn't been a hard sell.
Fortunately, quality and sustainability are connected. So for a chef, it's quite easy to make the quality choice, which is also usually the most sustainable choice.
With demand high and Henry's sturgeon stock still growing, it looks like the modern version of this ancient delicacy is here to stay.
What makes an item luxury? Well, it's the content, of course, but also the packaging. And many high-end labels are using this as a starting point to enhance their green image. This company makes the bags and boxes that carry some of the most well-known perfumes and cosmetics in the world. Today, there's more demand for packaging which both looks good and is eco-friendly.
Currently, a quarter of our clients now ask for bags which respect the environment, those who didn't before. Why haven't the other brands asked for the same? Because their directors or their customers haven't demonstrated a real concern for the issue yet.
Another reason might be because the price for a green bag is 5% higher than a traditional one, an additional cost businesses can't afford during a period of crisis. Boats can also be a potent symbol of extravagance, perhaps none more so than their super yachts, normally favoured by the rich and famous. But these traditional floating mansions are being challenged by greener alternatives. The makers hoping to woo wealthy clients who have developed a taste for eco-luxury.
A cutting-edge boat for the wealthy that could also attract the attention of environmentalists. This 26-meter yacht is making waves with an unusual power source, the sun.
We have a boat that consumes very little. At 12 knots, it consumes 29 litres per hour per motor. And on top of this low consumption, we have the solar panels that allow us to recharge our batteries.
The secret is on the traditional sunroof. The boat is topped by solar panels that also allow light to filter into the cabin, a combination of style and environmental consciousness, with the panels producing 30% of the energy the yacht needs to run. The solar energy is in addition to 2 engines with 730 horsepower and an 8,000-liter tank. This Italian is convinced by the yacht's environmentally friendly style.
I like to have something that has some advantage. Technologies also in the car, but in the boat I see is the first boat that use this kind of windows, and it's nice. I like it.
innovative, but the yacht's interior maintains a classic look. And the luxury boat isn't a steal, costing €4 million.
New tech, there's still nothing greener than the time-tested option of sailing by wind alone. And on that note, it's time to say goodbye. Thanks for joining us here on France 24, and we look forward to seeing you next time.